Hi, this is speech 4, my persuasive speech. I did it on minding our own business and focusing on the US. So, have you ever wondered how much money goes into certain things and yet you don't see any change? Like the homeless on the street, orphanages, the mentally ill, the prisons, the roads with tons of potholes, poor school education. All of these things boil down to a certain budget. And on top of that, the US is $30 trillion in debt. Federal, state, and other. Other meaning the US owes money to other countries. That's a lot of money. There was only one president who was able to get our debt, the US debt, down to zero. Now we can fix this problem real easy, but a lot of people are not going to like it. How to fix the problem is to raise taxes. I know the taxes are already high, but it could be worse if we wanted to get rid of this debt. It could be a lot better if we didn't spend a lot of money elsewhere too. We can also cut spending. That's a good way to lower our debt. So those are the two ways. We can also tax the rich. You know, the billionaires, the millionaires, and so on, to be able to pay it off faster. But that's also cruel and unusual punishment, so we won't be doing any of that. Everyone would be taxed equally. That way everyone is paying their fair share. That's why we do taxes every year. $766.58 billion is spent on the military. Now don't get me wrong, I'm in the military too. I'm in the Navy. Even though the military is not what I thought it should have been and used to be from my grandpa and uncle's story, or stories I should say. They actually got to see war. Meanwhile, I just sit in a floating kitchen all of deployment. But that's also due to COVID and not being able to see anything. So all I get to see is 500 square feet of concrete and those giant shipping crates, you know, the ones that you see on freighters that they carry, the giant metal shipping crates. They got like really cool logos. Sometimes if you're really lucky, you get to see the ones with graffiti on it. I don't know about you, but I love graffiti. Like, it's my favorite kind of expressive art. It speaks to you differently than regular art. You know what I mean? But yeah, so we could reduce some military funding if we really wanted to get rid of this debt in a quickness, but that takes time. I have patience with certain things, and other things I don't have patience with. I don't know about you. I also don't like being in debt at all. Like, my car loan is driving me bonkers. My credit card is up to $500, and it's annoying every nerve in my body. It's irritating me. I don't like owing money. The wars we are in right now, and that could reduce a lot of funding and debt, is we are in the Iraq War, Afghanistan, which we've been in forever, since I was a kid, and I'm almost 22. Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen, something like that. I might have messed that up. I apologize. If anyone knows the correct saying, please tell me how to pronounce it right. I beg you. I hate messing up words. We also, in those wars, have spent $69 billion. $69 billion. Let that sit for a minute. Okay, really, really ponder on that. $69 billion on wars. It's a lot of money spent on a war. Or wars, in this case. Did you know that 150 million to 1 billion lives are lost in these wars? 150 million to 1 billion U.S. citizens are killed annually in these wars. That's ridiculous. I don't know what else to say about that. It breaks my heart. Have you ever been to public school? I've been in public school. I've been in public school since I could remember. Preschool was a public school for me. I've always had a poor education system. But I always got told, oh, that's public school for you. Nah, we don't have it in the budget. If you want a better education, you should have went to a private school. But private schools are really, really, really expensive. Especially for the poor working class. That was me. $640 billion are spent on K through 12 schools. But yet, I used to get told in school we can't even afford paper and number 2 pencils, but we can afford 6 vending machines throughout the school and snacks to fill those. I thought that was ridiculous. $96 billion is spent on fixing roads, yet we still have potholes all over the place. We still have busted down roads. We still have all of these cracks and holes in our roads that mess up our, what's the word? Please help me. What is the word? Suspension. There we go. Suspension in our cars. Which means we pay more money to get it fixed. That's crazy. That's really, really crazy. $3.5 billion is spent on helping the homeless. Yet, every time when I leave base to come home, I see homeless all over the place. And it really breaks my heart. Those people are not worthless. Those people are not helpless. They just hit really bad luck. They hit rock bottom and they just need a helping hand to get them back. You know, it's kind of like paying all your bills and then you only having $5 and you're super hungry and you have to go grocery shopping. So you ask your friends, your neighbors, your mom, your dad, your aunts, uncles, cousins, grandma, grandpa, whoever, for $30. Those people are asking for the same thing. They're asking for some help. That's all. 225 billion dollars is spent on helping the mentally ill. Yet they are still treated poorly. They are still in buildings that should have been torn down and rebuilt years and years ago. And they're not getting the proper help that they need. And lastly, $81 billion is spent on mass incarceration. All of this money being spent on things that I don't see changes in. I don't know what we can do to help, but I definitely would like to see a change. Thank you for listening to my speech.